It's my feel-good breakfast show.
And a very warm welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Tuesday morning. We're live on SABC3. And it's time right now for our weekly health chat on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, September is Heart Health Awareness Month. And because it's our first segment for the month, we thought that we would focus and dedicate our attention in this health segment to the amazing heart. We're joined this morning by Dr. Liesl Zulke, the pediatric, she's a pediatric cardiologist and the president of the Pediatric Cardiac Society of South Africa. Now, remember that we'll also be taking your calls for your questions and comments. So if you have a fascinating question to ask, do give us a call on 0839133728. If you've ever wondered about the heart, this is your time. I read somewhere, Dr. Zulke, that your heart beats 100,000 times a day. Is that true?
100,000 times a minute, in fact.
Oh, my word.
And a couple of million times a day. So in your lifetime, if you say average of 70 years, it's it's billions of times in a lifetime. Yeah.
That is very, very interesting indeed. And the fact that it is the biggest cause of death is from heart health or heart disease. Why is the heart giving us the most problems?
It's an interesting way you phrase that question. You ask why the heart is giving us so much problems. It's actually that the problems that are associated with non-communicable diseases all affect the heart.
Okay.
So our major risk factors are tobacco,
Yes.
smoking, hypertension or high blood pressure, obesity, as well as not sufficient exercise, and all of those, as well as diabetes, then affects the heart.
Yes.
So the heart is sort of the common denominator. All of these things affect the heart, and therefore the heart is a vulnerable organ.
Yeah.
Strong, but very vulnerable in this case.
You were sharing a very interesting fact with me
Yeah.
during the ad break that the heart only beats on an average a certain amount of times in, let's say, 70 years, the expected human life. And also this is the same for animals. So once it gets to a stage, it really just can't do it anymore because animals that are smaller have faster heartbeats. That's why they die quicker. Is that true?
That is correct, yes. So if we just look at humans, when you're born as a baby, your heart is beating about 120 times a minute. And by the time you're your age or much older, we are talking now between 50 and 70 beats a minute or around. So it slows down over time, and the relation is related to size.
Yeah.
So a blue whale, for example, the biggest animal on Earth, heart beats only about 5 beats per minute.
5 beats. That is a very slow heartbeat. Speaking of the blue whale, we found a very interesting fact that says that a human being can actually fit inside the heart veins of, or the arteries of a blue whale. Is that true, or is somebody pulling the wool over our eyes?
Well, firstly, let me ask you a question. Do you know how big your heart is?
It's about, well, I remember this from school. They said, this is the size of your brain, that's your heart.
Exactly. So it's the size of a fist.
Yes.
And if you imagine a blue whale is about 10 stories high, a 10-story building.
Okay.
And so if it could make a fist, it's going to be a pretty big fist. It's about the size of a smart car.
Okay.
And you probably can't swim, you know, sort of doing a proper stroke, but you certainly could fit a small child through some of the arteries of a blue whale.
And another interesting fact, or perhaps one that you can bust as a myth, is it true that women's hearts beat faster than men's hearts? And if so, why?
Yeah, they do, and that's just related to size.
Okay.
So women are generally a little bit smaller than men. So if you have a very tall woman and a very tiny man, it may be different. So
Okay.
that's on average, that it beats a little bit faster.
Okay, well, we're going to be welcoming all of your questions and your comments. We're talking about heart health because September is Heart Health Awareness Month. So do give us a call on 0839133728. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Zulke shortly as we head on over to the kitchen with Ewan.
Only you can make my day.